Vintage Year is a top-down bullet hell style shooter following traditional roguelike structure, released on the 23rd of April 2014 on Desura and the 2nd of January 2015 on Steam through Steam Greenlight. It is developed and published by Lunatic Studios. I've seen it compared to games like Nuclear Throne and Hotline Miami, and while it definitely has taken cues from these two games, the real area where Vintage Year differs is the pacing and approach it takes to the core gameplay. While you can go in guns blazing, it will only serve you well for the first few levels, and attempting this on any of the bosses or later levels will leave you with nothing but a dead character and a burning headache. It is more economical to take a more tactical approach. Scouting, planning and picking optimal ambush positions are essential for completing each of the randomly generated levels. Vintage Year's gameplay is further improved by the inclusion of multiple characters. While this is a staple of games nowadays, it's nice to see a good roster open to the player right from the get-go. I personally found myself quite liking Zinfandel, the bandit character. His extra 2 points of health are very good for new players. But there are other characters on offer, such as a cannibal character who gets a 10% chance to get a health back each time he kills an enemy, and a sharpshooter character who has improved accuracy with guns, just to name a few. Oh, did I mention that there's demons? The game has a nice Lovecraftian feel, and being a big fan of the Cthulhu mythos and Lovecraft's work in general, it's nice to see the dark sense of loathing replicated in this nice pixel art style. The limited visibility is also a nice attraction. It's rare when a game manages to blend mechanics and atmosphere so well. I found myself cursing those damn light-stealing scumbags as they snuffed out my last torch, leaving me in near total darkness. It does improve the tension in the game considerably. Now onto the negative of this all-round solid game. During my 4 or so hours of play, there were several things that really nagged me about the game. For one, the difficulty seems to spike randomly from level to level, but you can put this down to the random generation and tropes of roguelikes. And there's several other issues. For instance, the environment, while definitely appealing, never changes and can get tiresome over the course of several playthroughs, but this is not so much of a problem. The real problem I found is the enemy AI. I cannot count the amount of times the enemies have been unable to move down a small corridor to pursue me, but they really seem to have a fascination with walls. Honestly, they'll go down and they'll hump corners, they'll run up and they'll decide to hide, but this doesn't really distract from the gameplay. I still think it's fun, and the boss fights are amazing. They are just the best part of the game in my opinion, but they also have their own problem. They can get repetitive as they're always put in the exact same order. But in conclusion, should you buy this game? Well, let's just go over the positives and negatives one last time. Right, positives, it's fun and it's addictive. I actually think it's probably more enjoyable, for me at least, than Hotline Miami, and that is because of the random generation element. Although Hotline Miami does win on the visuals and the art style, personally. Just my personal opinion. It's got a more tactical approach than other shoot-em-ups. It's got multiple characters, each with unique perks that have a direct effect on gameplay. So, for instance, a sharpshooter, you're going to be able to hit things better. Cannibal, you're going to be able to survive longer. Things like that. Excellent and tense boss fight, the best part of the game in my opinion. And now on to the bad things. Samey environment, glitchy AI at times, random generation can leave the player under-equipped and outgunned very fast, but that, if you're used to roguelikes, that shouldn't be a problem. No save function, just a personal nitpick. To be honest, probably won't bother the majority of players, but just my personal peeve. So is Vintage Year worth your money? It depends what kind of player you are. If you're new to the roguelike genre, stay away. Buy FTL, Nuclear Throne, or any other game basically. But if you're like me and have a morbid obsession with roguelikes and you find them like really, really fun, definitely pick this up. £4 is definitely worth your time and your money. For the amount of content on offer, you could spend that money in a far worse place. I wish the developer well and hope their next game is a resounding success. Thanks for watching, and bye!